Well, some dramas, some Christmas dramas. I had a situation where I was about to put my washing machine on, and it then wasn't on. So, you know, it's the 23rd of December, it's a Friday afternoon, it's 4:10. It's getting to that point where someone's going to make a lot of money if you call them out for help. And it ain't going to be you. Anyway, I'll flip this thing around and explain. So, I mean, it just gets more and more random. Basically, I was about to put my washing machine on, and then I got sidetracked and I put the dishwasher on. So I went back to put the washing machine on, and it has been known to not like them both emptying at the same time. The drains are a little bit marginal from time to time, but I keep them cleaned out and that seems to do the trick, but you do have to keep an eye on them. Anyway, still haven't got to the point, have I? Basically, having put on the bottom, this is a twin drawer dishwasher. So I put the bottom one on, turned around and put the washing machine on, and it was off. Fine, it goes off automatically on its own, so I put the power on, wouldn't come on, still wouldn't come on, and then it just wouldn't come on. Anyway, so I feared the worst, so I thought, well, it might just be a fuse, but you know, why would it just be a fuse? But of course, fuses are there for a reason, so it could just be a fuse. So, I pulled out the bin, pulled out that, which is for this, that's the reverse osmosis tank for the non-functioning water filter. But anyway, kind of looked and I was like, what's that all about? Don't remember. Yeah, I went around the back, remembered that the washing machine was plugged in to behind here, but here didn't have any holes for where it was plugged in, so I had to empty this out and drop the feet, loosen off the feet so that I could then drag this out of the way. When I then dragged this out of the way, what I found was crunch, that. Now, anyway, that's what I found. So, I thought to myself, I should probably take the power off, and in a way I was quite glad to see it, because I also know that up there is another plug socket, and I thought, well, I can unplug that and plug it in there and make good this, or whatever, or at least see if it's going to work. So, as I went to unplug this, and really, truthfully, I should have switched the power off, but it's starting to get dark, and I'm not sure when I switch the sockets off downstairs what else goes off. Well, not the lights, but anyway. So I went to unplug it without isolating the power supply, and as I went to unplug it, I heard dee-dee-dee, and that was this thing switching on. And I was like trying to sort of unplug it gingerly without sort of really yanking what are obviously some loose wires out of there. And as I did it, it kept going dee-dee-dee-dee-dee, so it started connecting, disconnecting it, and then I came round to the washing machine to switch it off because I thought, well, I don't really want it going, and it just started. Oh, here we are again. Oh my word. This is an interesting day. So I can't really explain what I've just done there, but live, I've just done the very thing I was just talking about. And we've got a lovely chain of events right now occurring, because I've got some dodgy wiring on my washing machine, and my finger right now is well, my hand is wet because my finger is on the top of an air vent of a pipe, which doesn't like draining the same time as the washing machine, and you know, having the dishwasher and the washing machine draining at the same time. So I've got my finger on that. I mean, it's just unreal. That air supply. The washing machine is started on its sort of on its own as I tried to unplug it, and then I just thought, you know what, it's a quick 30-minute wash. Let's just get it washing, and I get the thing out, and then I'll make good that dodgy electrical socket, surface mounted thing. But as I've gone to do that, I can take my hand off it for the minute. As I've gone to do it, in behind here was starting to flood, because just as I said, kind of like right on cue, the washing machine and the dishwasher draining or filling, I'm not really sure what at the moment because I can't get in there and see probably, but at the same time isn't really working. It comes out, there has to be an air vent in order to let water drain away, and for some reason sometimes the water's coming out of that air vent. I do need a plumber for that, because that is a number of plumbers later. That's an issue that has sort of been playing pass the parcel with, I think. So as it stands right now, I have my washing machine sort of partially dragged out, cupboards emptied and partially dragged out, a smashed surface mount socket which is currently hanging on for dear life whilst my 30-minute cycle just does its quick little wash. And I have one of my twin drawer dishwasher, and it's only got a little 3 kilogram wash in there, but I think it's about a 9 kilogram washer dryer. But they're working at the same time, and I've got a bit of a plumbing anomaly tucked away behind the reverse osmosis water filter that is causing the floor to flood if I don't put my finger over the hole, soaking my hand in the process with some dodgy wiring just behind me. It's the gift that keeps on giving, isn't it? That's what it is. So basically what I've got to do is let this thing finish washing. This thing's on about an hour and a half cycle, I think, so that's not going to be done anytime soon. I could put some noxious chemicals down here, but I only did that about a month ago. So I do remember a plumber some years ago laughing at the fact that there wasn't an air vent, or the air vent was too low and that's why water was coming out, or something along those lines. And I remember having to get that sorted out, and it did seem to work for a while, but now I'm getting problems again. So very interesting, lovely cascading effect here. Yeah, but that is rather dodgy. I'm pretty sure that the sockets, I should remember because I only did these the other day. I should be able to isolate just that socket, and well, all the sockets in here, and at least make that good. But the thing for in here for right now, I just have to remind myself not to use the two at the same time until I have someone come and take a look. But really and truthfully, it's about time. Like, the water filter is just, to be honest with you, I'll be perfectly honest with you, I've had a, I can hear it again. I've got to put my hand over this hole. Ridiculous. the water filter has never been a good solution in here. It's never worked as well as it should. It's given me problems several times, and I can't get so I'm just listening out for this vacuum. I can't get the service level that I'm looking for on the thing, so I think really and truthfully this water filter needs to go. And I sometimes have some idea that basically the water filter that's in here is like several stage reverse osmosis. That's it in there. When you take that cover off, there's about 6 or 7 filters and remineralizers and polishers, I mean literally, and stuff like that. You've got this tap which is broken now, but it fans out like a bulb, almost like a fountain. It's supposed to sort of oxygenate the water, and then you've got the reverse osmosis tank in there. It's not a cheap solution. It is possible for it to be, but this wasn't, and it's been pretty unreliable. But the water was good when it was reliable, but you can measure particles per million, and that doesn't always tell you what the particles are, but it tells you that there's stuff in there. Water in this place is about 380. It's disgusting, it's terrible, it's toxic, heavy metals, and there's no fluoride apparently in it. There's chlorine, there's a lot of heavy metals and sediments and God knows what else in there. It's around about 210 when filtered with a cartridge filter, like Brita, like that. And then it's softened as well, and you're not supposed to drink the softened water. It's got traces of salt in it. It's apparently not. It's not a great idea. And I sort of would imagine as well that it would knock out the water filters. So I tried to find, like here, this isn't softened. The drinking water isn't softened. It doesn't go through the softener. It spurs off to the filter before the softener. But regular tap water is softened. Well, with this not working, my only access in this property to non-softened water is an outside tap. So I fill my water filter, because my water filter isn't working, I fill with an outside tap. It's a bit ridiculous. So that's what I do. And then basically, the ppm of this filter when it was new is supposed to be around about 20. Mine would never be less than about 60, and it would steadily creep up quicker than you would hope for it to. And I just wonder sometimes whether or not the water that's going into this filter is the wastewater from the reverse osmosis. I mean, I just don't know. I don't know plumbing in it, and I just have a feeling that there's just some really wrongnesses kicking around here on the subject of water, maybe multiple ones, like it's not draining away well, but this is that there, you can see that's the pipe. That's just a flexi hose that's coming from what we have assumed is the non-softened water coming in from the outside, like the mains, so going straight down to the tank, or sorry, to the filters, and then to the tank. And the tank has a two-way valve on it. Doesn't need power. You can power them. They tend to, because it uses air pressure as a balloon inside this tank, that you put up to about 1.3 bars, something like that, and that forces the water out. but it has a two-way valve, so the water that comes through the filter goes in to replace it, and then but when you switch the tap on, the valve goes the opposite way and you draw off the water that's in the tank. So that's the theory. In truth, what tends to happen is if you want a decent amount of water, the pressure starts to go down and down, because you're no longer drawing off what's in the tank, and even if you are, the pressure in the tank is less because you're taking water out of there. But also if it's coming straight from the filters, it takes a while for the water to get around the filters. So what tends to happen is let's say you fill up a kettle, it comes on slower than regular tap water, but fast enough. But if you're filling up something large, it will slow down noticeably as you do it. But I didn't mind because it was decent water. But it wasn't decent water for very long because the ppm kept rising, and then I had a tank not burst as in leaking all over the floor, but the membrane inside ruptured, which meant you didn't get the pressure, which meant the water was sitting in there for ages, which is not healthy. All that, just one thing after another. It's just not been reliable. I have a more preferable solution, but it's going to mean throwing a load more money at it. And basically, the idea of having an electrical pump or something on this is it. Anyway, just to finish off that earlier thought, is that it tends to increase the flow of the water and maintains its flow as well. But I don't have that for here. There's some people who have 2 tanks and an electric pump, which although it's live the whole time, it only triggers when you try to draw water. It starts automatically then. But anyway, this says it's got 5 minutes left to do. But anyway, so what it basically means, what I've got to do really, the good news is, I suppose, is that my washing machine currently is still working. I need to, wow, that was the fastest 5 minutes ever, but okay. So the good news with that is that it's spun it okay. That stuff's going to dry, so at least I'm not left with some stuff in the washing machine. So I can't because of the dishwasher. I've got to cut the power to this socket. For the time being, I can plug in right behind this thing. I think I can. With the plug-in, it might stick out too far. I can't remember. There's probably a reason why it's not plugged in there. But anyway, okay. So anyway, that's what I've got to do, and I've got to make good that socket. And I don't think the floor is going to flood now. So it is. I think the combination of the dishwasher and the washing machine at the same time can sometimes cause water to come out of the vacuum air vent. That is a situation that's got to be sorted by someone. And really and truthfully, what I could do with is a real proper decent quality plumber who will be able to categorically state whether or not this water is coming straight from the mains, or if it's going via the softener or via the softener waste or whatever. I think it probably is coming straight from the mains. And then, to be honest with you, I could probably just go and get a cartridge. I could get a cartridge filter for 80 quid or something with a tap, and just take this thing out and just have some regular, cartridge water filter that you replace once a year. Because I do feel that there is, even with this thing resurrected, there is something not known or not faced up to. I don't know what, but it just feels, it doesn't perform as well as it should for as long as it should. So something is putting it under above average stress. What I would really like is a whole house filter. They're only a couple of £100 really for a property like mine. They take up a bit of space. I've got a space in the downstairs loo, but it's not quite big enough, so that would be a whole evolution to put it in there. And it would definitely be a plumber who would need to come out anyway. But at least the whole house filter would then filter all the water everywhere, you know, bath water, shower water, dish, everything. And then it would take the pressure off of the drinking water filter. So I'd still have the whole house filter come in first and the drinking water one come off of that, and the rest of the whole house filter water go to the softener and then go around the house. So then you wouldn't need things like shower filters and stuff like that. That would be the ideal thing, but that would take a sack full of cash really, and it would also take a bit of facing up to, because it'd be a bit of overhaul, there'd be a little bit of ripping out of things, and the plumber's going to want to look at a whole bunch of stuff so he has an overall idea of exactly what's going on here. And then maybe that same person can deal with this drainage issue or water flow restriction issue. Anyway, wow, didn't expect this to be my afternoon. And as I say, I've just realised the absolute obvious point, which is that I can't actually start on this job until the dishwasher's finished, and that's going to be an hour or so. But either way, it's dark now anyway, so it doesn't matter if I do it now or in an hour's time. This would be time to go and have far too many biscuits, but I've managed to clean those out. I keep getting given stuff that I wouldn't normally eat, so I haven't bought biscuits for so long, but I keep ending up with packs of them and this, that and the other. And sometimes I'm good and they just sit there, I go nowhere near them. But once you touch one, that's deadly, isn't it? Anyway, so there it is. I've got my washing machine isn't dead, but it's time to do a repair on a plug socket. I think it got damaged ramming this thing back in place. And something must have just moved. I don't know what, because I didn't move this cupboard, I didn't move the washing machine, but maybe just something disturbed it. I mean, it must have been a really dodgy connection for, like, these are solid concrete floors, so it's not like somebody walking past or something had, you know, bowed the floor or whatever. It's like, I don't know what has caused it to just today, it was on, and then I closed the door, and maybe it's just that movement, but it's disturbed the cable just like a millimetre or something, which has meant that there was no longer a live connection. That's the sort of thing that would have been surely buzzing if it's that close. If just 1 millimetre difference in the cable means it will touch or not touch, then it could have been shorting out. So in a way, it's quite good that it's happened like that. So I'm going to disconnect that anyway. Like, drop the power off, disconnect it, make it good one way or another, either with a new back box or just blanking off, or I don't know, whatever. But see if the other socket's working, if I can't, you know, have this broken one functional again. Or of course I can go out and get a back box, but I think it's a slim back box. Not sure if I have one. I definitely don't want to chop it into the wall. It looks like the original one from in here, so I don't know. Anyway, that's got to be done and made secure, and then everything will be working as before, which is great, except for the drainage issue, which is not so great. But if I can separate that out as something that needs to be sorted out in the new year or something, then that's what I'll do. And I know a couple of gas engineers, but they're quite a way away. They have a tremendously good reputation, which is exactly what you want, but they're gas engineers, so they are plumbers, but on the gas side. And there's the guy who fitted my water softener, and I think he may have moved it as well when I had it moved from the downstairs loo into the cupboard under the stairs. He might be a person I can use, but I think if I can get a hold of him, work out how to get a hold of him. But really and truthfully, I need a plumber, really, who's got a plumber who knows plumbing and water softeners. to get this situation sorted out once and for all. Yeah, let's see what happens. Anyway, at least my washing machine is still working, but that socket is it's a bit deadly really. It's dangerous, and I'm going to get that sorted out today. Right, it's Christmas Day, and I've got a bit of an unusual thing to do right now. Most people's kitchens on Christmas Day are in disarray, or at least they're getting used hard, even if you're the most organised. Mine is no different, but for a slightly different reason. And the reason being is had a little bit of a moment with the washing machine. I had to pull it out because it came, well, it sort of, the power just went on it, and the good news for me is that it was just plug socket, but I had to pull out the unit to do it, and there it is there. It got broken at some point by having the unit pushed back against it. I got a 25mm surface mount backing plate for it. The one that's in there at the moment is 20mm, and I think that was because of problems with fitting. But anyway, I got to knock the power off before I do anything. But I can also plug in and plug in behind the washing machine. But I think the washing machine went too far back to allow that plug to sit there. I'm not really sure. When I get everything out of the way, it will all come back to me, because I probably had a little bit to do with the installation of all this, and perhaps even the breaking of it too. All right. Okay. So first things first. Let's get this out of the way. The other thing, this is not a fashion statement, it's just Christmas, and I happen to be wearing white trousers. Not the best idea for scrabbling around on the floor. But anyway, so there we go. So I haven't switched the power off just yet, because I just want to take a look. First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to switch the power off, and I'm going to plug in behind the washing machine there at the top of the screen. The reason why I'm going to switch the power off is because it's probably going to trip out, maybe either via giving me a little bit of a jolt. So I'm going to switch off the power just to unplug the thing, and then I'm going to plug it in up there, push the washing machine back, inspect this thing, and decide whether or not Christmas Day really is the day in which to do this. I think it's going to be a 2-minute thing, but I'm also, I just couldn't get a 20mm. They didn't have it in stock. It was like, I paid 58p for this 25mm one. I wouldn't mind, I don't mind wasting 58p, but I just don't want, I just think it's so tight the way that the unit goes back, hence the breakages, that yeah, I don't really want to put the 25mm one on there, to be honest with you. But anyway, I'm going to get the power off and take a look and see what the damage is, literally. All right, a few little things to do there. To shut down a couple of computers. That's that. And on the wiser. Anyway, first things first. Just not quite sure if the washing machine will go right back. Well, it seems like it might. Okay. So, I want to make sure that's got power because I think I'm going to do it that way. I'm not completely satisfied with this, but let's just wrap it up today. It shouldn't take long. Now, the good news is I've got power on the washing machine. So it's plugged back in. Everything's whirring away in the background because I just flicked the power back on. I'm going to switch it back off to change the back in there. That little fella. But don't need the washing machine on anymore. But anyway, yeah, not really sure. Let's just get the thing done, I suppose. And still missing the odd screwdriver or so, or two. So I'm going to get the power back off again and make the changes. Right. Seems a bit pointless undoing this thing when it's smashed to bits, but I just want to stand a reasonable chance of seeing what it looks like. Still isn't sure. I think I have probably a surface mounted box kicking around somewhere, but it's just trying to find places in such a lot of disarray now. I don't really know what's going on here. It's not really coming off for some reason. I wanted to sort of get a rough idea of what had caused the temporary issue as well. You know, it was working for a long time, and then maybe just because of some sort of vibration, it gave up the ghost. It's not your average repair, so I'm not really sure why it's not coming out at the moment. Okay, that's what you say. I don't know what's going on here. I'm not really sure, something's turning in here, Let's see if I can get it to come away properly. Doesn't look like it. Okay, just break it. Do it that way. Oh. Oh dear. There's a little twist in the tail. Let's get my torch on there. Not really sure why this tripped out at the moment. Weird. Okay, so I'm going to use how it was all connected before. Give myself the least amount of work to do here. So I'm doing the back. So that's that, that's that. The holes don't seem to be in the same places. But anyway, just punch them through anyway. Right, and then what else? I am going to do punch out the whole lot. Like so. Keep stopping to disagree with the amount of annoying with the different aspects of this job. I don't really know what that achieves. It makes me feel a bit better before I carry on. It's nice to be in agreement with what you're doing when you're doing it, even if you're not, if you know what I mean. So keep cursing the fact that my tools have been scattered around. I'm actually pretty good at putting things back, since I'm the one who'll want them to be there when I next go for them. Let's see what's going on. This screwdriver is not magnetic. I'll get one that is. Right. Okay. Nope. Oh, that's better. Okay. I'm really sure why that's in such a strange condition. But anyway, first things first, let's get it all back in. There's a number of issues going on here right now. Here we go. Okay, one of the issues is if I want to use this faceplate, there's something going on here. So you know what? Did it get rusted or what happened to it? I'm not really sure if I'm pulling the thread out here or just unscrewing it with some yeah, that is what I'm doing. Okay. Oh dear. Maybe I need to go and find another single plug, but again it's just going to take looking. Right, okay. Now that's good news, that's gone back. Right. So that's that. The other thing is this there So I'm just had to pull the wires through enough. I'm now trying to get at least one screw into this backing. I'm not sure if the other will line up. If it doesn't, I don't really mind, to be honest with you. I mean, I do mind, but I'm not drilling stuff. Let's take a look. It's not gonna. Okay, so my handling for it's not going to. So not do it. I'm pretty sure. Yeah. No, that's not going to do it. So, there you go. So I'm going to go back the way it was. Which was live. Right. There's earth in the middle. It's not really the easiest spot to be doing this. all kinds of stuff going on here. Right, so then this, of course, has got a slightly chewed up. Oh, it might not have a chewed up head. No, it doesn't have. It's all right now. Right. Is it doing? I'm not sure if it does or doesn't have a chewed up head. Maybe not. So I don't know how this is going to do because it didn't look that great behind there, to be honest with you. Hold on by one surface mount, I just cracking and grinding as you tighten it up. There's two things I'm going to do right now. Switch power on and see if it comes back on, and if it does, plug something in and see if that trips it out or if it works. So here we go. I already know the answer. I already know the answer. I already know the answer to this. It's tripped out because I just know it's tripped out. Oh, there's something going on in there. It's come on, or has it? Yeah. Now I've got to find something. Just the kettle. Truth be told, I don't like that. Not sure if it's switching off before, but it's not now. I just don't like it. And I'm just not going to have anything plugged into it. It's working. I'm not happy with it. Yeah. What that basically needs is 20mm surface mount, and it basically needs drilling in there properly, and it needs a better look at the state of the cabling and stuff like that. I'm not going to do that right now. For the main thing, I've got my washing machine working again. I've decommissioned a dodgy looking plug as far as I'm concerned. Yes, it's going to be put away behind the cupboard. It's not great, but it's going to have to get revisited on another day. It doesn't take that much really to pull the cupboard out. You just screw the legs up so that there's a bit of, so it's not jammed between the sideboard and the floor, and then it can just slide out. It's not screwed to the wall anymore. It used to be, but it's moved. It's in a different location now. Oh, I can see that it actually could be screwed to the wall. But I don't like this. This is nasty. This is original flush mounted thing. It's probably the only power that was in here in this kitchen back in the day. I don't like it. I want to do a proper fix on this, but for the time being in there, I think it's going to be okay. So yeah, I'll just leave it at that. So already just thinking about that, what I'm going to do, I think, is pull it out at some point, put a surface mount, put a flush mounted double socket in there. It's got to be tidied up. Might even get some electrician to do it in case they see some things they don't like that I wouldn't even know if I was looking at. But that's what I think I'm going to do. Got to be careful because there's the other side of it. Might not be able to sort of tell from here, but it's not exactly in line with it, but it's in that neck of the woods. And I think, if I remember rightly, this is actually a single back box and it's a double extension over the top. It's been in there a long time. So yeah, I think I don't like that. Sticks out too much. It's not properly secured. The switch isn't switching off. I think I'm going to get... It's hard to know because I don't want to disturb what's going on there. But maybe just this... I think then I'm not going to... I think I'm just going to get a surface mount again, but 20mm, but a double with a double socket. And it can just sit on the top. And then that would tidy that up, but I don't really like that. It's obviously been like it for a long time. Tripped out the other day. Well, it just stopped working the other day, and it wasn't working just then until I tried to switch it off, and then it started working. So it's Christmas Day. I'm due for a family dinner. To be continued, I think, but for the time being, I think that's secure. There is always, obviously, what's on my mind really, and why I'm just still talking, is because I'm kind of thinking, you know, it could be putting some dodginess back in there. In an ideal world, I'd sort this out right now, but I think I'm going to put a double socket in there. I'm going to drill it in properly. That'll give me the opportunity to secure it in 4 decent locations. The back box, just a 20mm surface mount one and a double switch on the top. Probably never get used, but at least I know it's nice and secure in there. And if this kitchen gets a full strip out and rebuild, then that's the time to do the whole plumbing and electrics evolution that's got to be done in there. But for right now, it's just a question of, you know, I don't know what it's a question of. Incremental, they're not upgrades, are they? Incremental ekings out. Not trying to be cocky, this is electric, so I don't want to be getting a buzz off of something. And even there, even though the power was off, it tripped out the main, well, it tripped out some other ring as well as I was just working on that. Yeah, not nice. I don't like it. I don't profess to be an electrician, and I think what I've done there is about as far as you should go really on a DIY basis, unless you've got more knowledge than I have. In terms of taking wires out and putting them back in where they were before, I can do that. When there starts to be some things that aren't so great, I mean, that didn't look good behind there, then you think, well, let's just be sensible here and make it nice and neat and strong and all the rest of it. And then there's also something that a pro would look at and think, I suspect, you know, a whole bunch of other stuff sort of thing. So most of the, you know, these properties built in the 50s, they had, you know, most rooms had just the one socket in them, and eventually, well, in fact, when I bought this place, it was, I think there was one socket in each room, and it looked like it was surface mounted, but it kind of, the only reason why it was is because what had been flush had been then made surface mounted and spurred off all the way around each room with extensions off of it. I mean, the cabling was sometimes as much as, you know, half a foot away from the wall or more. And the surveyor didn't pick that up. They managed to get out of being held responsible for not picking that up. But to be honest with you, it was so obvious that probably even I should have noticed. And at the end of the day, there's all kinds of silly little arguings going on between the, you know, not us, but anyway, the owners at the time, and who was responsible for leaks and blah blah blah. And in the end, I just said, look, we'll just do it, or can we just get in? It's just what you want to do, don't you? You know, as long as you're not being, you know, you might look and think, look, there's probably about 800 quid's worth of work that needs to be done here, that really they should be paying for, or maybe even a full rewiring. But at the end of the day, you think, does it make us not want to buy the place? So we might have to pay a couple of grand more in terms of repairs or whatever, but we're going to do it anyway. So let's just get in there, stop all the bickering. They weren't bickering with us, they were bickering with the leaseholder and stuff, and just, anyway, whatever. So that's what we did. But yeah, it's like, would have been nice to have, you know, it wasn't an investment property. We had a family and we were moving in, so there was only a certain amount of ripping out that you were sort of prepared to do, and to do a complete, you know, with concrete floors, and it's almost like an industrial build, you know. We didn't really want to be going into that sort of depth of things whilst trying to live there. But we still did a fair amount. But anyway, so anyway, it's a whole bunch of blah blah. There's, at the end of the day, the repair is a bit safer than just having the smashed back rocks, although I don't know how much safer, because the cupboard was in the way. And the thing is with electrics, if they're not reliable, that's the thing, I think. If they're not reliable, they're not safe. That's what's in my head. You can probably take that on board on a like-for-like basis, and a pro might have looked at that and said, no, you know, don't worry, it'll be all right. It's not dangerous. There's no bare lives anywhere or anything like that. But yeah, it's a bit flaky. That's what I'd want to hear. It's like, you know, next time you do a proper job around the, you know, in the kitchen with the wiring, take that into account. And in the meantime, if you want to put a double in there, you can, but just leave it alone and it'll be all right. That's what I'd probably want to hear. That's what's probably going through my head anyway. But in the back of my mind is always the thought of like, I wish a pro could have looked, just to settle my mind a bit more. But anyway, let me know what you think. It's not a job I would say I'm satisfied with, but what I am satisfied with is putting all this lot. I'm going to hoover out down there. I'm going to put this lot back as it was, sort of thing, and it's going to have to come out again, isn't it, and be done properly. But that will be done more than half an hour before I'm due to leave for a family Christmas day dinner. It come out the blue. I went to use my washing machine, it stopped working. Luckily it wasn't in the middle of a cycle or anything. And I managed to investigate and touch it and get it to work. And now I've tried to do the repair on it, and it's one that I still have my attention on, and I hate those kinds of things. When it's done, I'd like to sort of think, all right, fine, that's handled. Not that I won't ever see it again, like I say, if I'm going to do a full rewire, but at least I can just look and say, there isn't a part of me that's saying, don't, you know, holding that bit down, saying, don't play up, you know. So a bit annoying, still got a bit of attention on it. It's got to be re-looked at, but at least I can get the bits I need. I know exactly what I need now. 20mm, double back box, double faceplate. Maybe I have them, maybe I don't. Maybe I'll get one of these ones, a bit like what I have in the hall here, where it uses a single back box and a double front. I don't really know. It might be something I can do. I know mentally when I see things now, I know what it looks like in there because I've had it out and had a look at it. And the other thing is that I would like to strip the wires back, but they were getting close. You know, you're running out of flex basically, and it looked like old school stuff in there. So I haven't tested these ones here. I'm sure they still work, but anyway, I'm going to get the Hoover out now. I'm not going to plug the Hoover into that thing. There it is, done for now. Cheers, guys. Like and subscribe. I'll leave it up to you.